In this video, we are going to have a look at the two LED light from Lume. This is the Lume and the Lume Air. Kia ora, good morning everyone, Rich One here. Today we are going to have a look at two little LED light, which is the Lume and the Lume Air. Both of them are very small LED light and the size are very similar, around 3 cm wide and 3 cm tall. The Lume is also 3 cm deep, so it's pretty much a cube shape. That's why it's called Lume, while the Lume Air is a little bit not as deep as the Lume. The Lume has a full metal construction, while the smaller Lume Air, it has a rubberized outer shell. The metal Lume not only feel more solid, but the metal body itself is also act as a big heat sink. This is quite important when you are shooting on a hot day, especially when you are using the light continuously, because after using it for a while, especially when you're running at the full power, the light does warm up quite a bit. Both of them are powered by built-in rechargeable battery, and according to the factory, the battery life is up to 2 hours under about 50% power usage. I haven't really measured how long it can last if I use it continuously, but over the last 2 weeks or so, I've been using these two lights quite a lot, and the battery life, I think it lasts somewhere between 1 to 2 hours, depends on how bright I set the light to. On top of the Lume, there are two buttons here. One is to turn on the light, and then you can toggle through different power brightness. There are 10 different levels that you can set on the original Lume, from the weakest to the strongest. And then the other button is to turn it into a flash mode. So when you click it, then you will flash the Lume. And also the Lume has a optical sensor here, so that means you can use the Lume as a slave for the camera flash as well. And for the Lume Air, there is only one button on it, and this is to turn on and also toggle through the different brightness. Unlike the original Lume, which has 10 different levels, the Lume Air only has 4 different power level that you can go through, and also there is no optical sensor on here, so you cannot use it as an optical slave for your camera flash. At the bottom of both lights, there is a tripod hole here, so you can easily attach it to a tripod, monopod, light stand, or mount it to any kind of bracket you have. So it's very easy to mount the light onto many different areas and places as well. At the back of the Lume Air, there is a magnet here, so that means you can just easily stick the Lume Air onto many different type of metal surface, so you don't even have to use any bracket or tripod or anything. But because of the magnet at the back, Lume do not recommend using the Lume Air on a drone, because it will interfere the operation of the drone, even though this is the lighter, much lighter light compared to the Lume. Recharging the battery is pretty easy. On the Lume Air, there's a little cover here, so you just need to flick the switch here, and then it will open up the door, little door here, so that you can charge the battery using the USB. It's a micro USB connector. I would definitely prefer if it is a USB-C, which is more popular these days, and also more solid connection. Unfortunately, both the Lume Air and the Lume are using micro USB. With the USB port, you can not just charge the battery, you can also use it to power the Lume. So if you have a USB power source, then you can run the light for an extended period of time. Now, one thing I don't really like with the Lume is that the USB port is actually hidden under this cover here, which you do have to use a tool or use a cord or something to unlock it. It is slightly inconvenient because if you forgot to bring any screwdriver, or you don't have your wallet with you, and if your battery is running flat, then it's a bit harder to charge the battery. And also because you have a little cover like this here, and there's a chance that you may just lose the cover. That almost happened to me when I was first testing the Lume because one day I unscrewed the cover and I was charged the battery, and then once I finished charging the battery, I couldn't really find where I put the cover. Luckily, I found it after probably 30 minutes of looking around everywhere in my room. But personally, I definitely much prefer LumeQ Air's design. It's just a lot easier to access to the USB port, and I don't have to worry about not remembering where did I put the little cover after I finished charging it. Both the LumeQ and LumeQ Air has Bluetooth connection, so users need to download the smartphone app that they designed and then run the app and then turn on the light, and pretty much straight away the phone will detect the light. And if this is the first time you connect to it, then it will pop up a registration dialog that you only need to type in your name and the email address and then hit the OK button. Then the app will automatically do the registration of the light for you. So that's a very quick and easy way for you to do the registration. You don't have to look up the serial number and type it in or do anything like that. Pretty much all handled automatically for you. So I really like this registration process. Now, the smartphone app, there are two main purposes of the smartphone app. The first one is that you can connect all your LumeQ lights to the smartphone app, and then you can control the lights from the smartphone app. You can control the power, you can control which one is turned on, which one is turned off. You can also control whether you want it to be use it as a camera flash, flashing or not. Also, the design of the app is very clean and nice and also very responsive. So yeah, using the smartphone app to control the light is very easy and very fast as well. And the second purpose of the LumeQ app is that you can use it as a camera app. So you can take photo using the LumeQ app. But the main difference is that you can then also control the lights that you connected to your smartphone, and then you can control whether you turn on and the power and everything like that. So that allows you to light up your scene very easily and quickly using the LumeQ lights. So overall, the LumeQ app is very nice, very clean and very easy to use. The only downside is that, for example, if you are using a camera like my camera, which is the Huawei P30 Pro, which has 3 cameras on there. It has the ultra wide, it has a normal wide angle, and then it has a telephoto lens. The app can only be able to use the normal angle, the normal wide angle camera. You couldn't switch to the telephoto or the wide angle. If you use Huawei's camera app, there are a lot of very cool features. For example, the night mode, the light painting mode, HDR mode. All these features are not available in LumeQ Air. That is definitely a bit unfortunate because most of the smartphone has multi-camera and a lot of more advanced feature. So with the LumeQ app, then you won't be able to access any of those advanced feature or the secondary cameras. As a LED light itself, how does these two compare? So let me show you a quick comparison photo that I shot using these two lights. The first photo is what it looks like when I use the LumeQ to light up a white wall in a very dark room. And now I show you another photo that I used the LumeQ Air to light up the same wall, and the camera setting was exactly the same. You can see that with the LumeQ Air, it is a little bit dimmer, and the pattern of the light is also slightly different compared to the LumeQ. The LumeQ Air actually comes with a bunch of accessories. For example, there is a white diffuser and there's a yellow diffuser. So if I put on the white diffuser, which is this little thing, and it's actually very nice. You can just easily clip it onto the LumeQ Air. It's something that the LumeQ doesn't have. If you want to put some diffuser or accessory on it, then you have to buy some additional bracket, which is cost you money and not as easy to use. So yeah, the LumeQ Air, if I put the diffuser on and I take another photo, camera setting is exactly the same, and this is what the photo look like. Now, first thing you'll notice is that the light is a lot dimmer with the diffuser because the diffuser blocks out quite a bit of light. And also, second thing is now you can see the light pattern is a little bit different. The light pattern with the diffuser is a little bit more even, a little bit more spread out. There's a misconception that I noticed a lot of people didn't get it quite right, is that they thought if you put on a diffuser, a little diffuser like this onto the light, or maybe on a camera flash or any light, and it will automatically make the light softer. And this is definitely not true. if you need to make your light softer, you have to increase the size of the light. And as you can see, with or without the diffuser, the size of light is virtually the same. So if you put on the diffuser, it could make the light softer, but that is only if there is a wall or ceiling or some kind of thing nearby, and then the light can diffuse and bounce off the ceiling or the wall and then come back to the subject you are shooting, then it will make the light softer. So what it means, if you are shooting outdoor and there's no wall or ceiling or anything nearby to bounce off the light, don't put on the diffuser, because you are just losing a lot of light, and the only thing you gain is the pattern is slightly softer. In most cases, it doesn't really make too much difference to your photo. Now you may be thinking, how do I actually use these little lights? They look very cute, but are they actually useful? So there are actually many different applications that how you can use these lights. Let's start with, okay, if you are the person who just take a lot of photo using your smartphone, you may be thinking, on the smartphone there is already a LED light there, so why not just use the LED light on the smartphone? Why do I need this light? There are many reasons, many advantages if you use one of these lights. The first thing is, the LED light on your smartphone is actually not that bright. Remember that I showed you a little while ago the two comparison photo that I shot using these two lights. So now if I use exactly the same camera setting and I just use the LED light on the smartphone to light up the wall, and this is what I will get. You can see that the LED light on the smartphone is just a lot dimmer than any of these two Lume Q lights. They are not even comparable if you ask me. Secondly, you have much better control of the power of the light of this Lume Q compared to the light on the smartphone, because normally with the smartphone you can only turn on or turn off the LED light, but with the Lume Q, the original Lume Q, you have 10 different level of power adjustment, as I mentioned at the beginning. Even with the Lume Q Air, that there are only 4 different power settings, it is still much better than your smartphone, which you can only turn on and turn off. And the third thing is that with external light like the Lume Q, you have complete freedom on where and how you want to position your light, also how you want to point the light. Compared to the smartphone LED light is basically pretty much always next to the camera, which is probably the worst position in terms of where you can place the light, because if light is next to the camera, it's the most unflattering light ever when you are taking portrait photo that is not like a passport photo. But with the Lume Q, you can place it anywhere you want. For example, you're taking portrait, you may put it like 45 degrees from the subject. And also you can control what direction the light is pointing to. For example, if you're shooting indoor, then you can either point the light up to bounce the light off the ceiling, or you can point it to your nearby wall to bounce it off a wall, and that way you can create a much softer, much more diffuse light compared to directly shooting the light into the subject. And if you are a photographer shooting with a larger standalone camera, DSLR mirrorless camera, or any large sensor camera, then what I said just before can all apply to you. You get all those advantages, but also because the larger sensor camera normally has much better high ISO performance, effectively that makes the light on the Lume Q even more powerful. So that means you have a lot more flexibility in terms of how you want to use the Lume Q light. And because these two lights are so small, that just gives me a lot more flexibility on how or where I can place the light. So I'm right now also testing another lens. It's a fisheye lens. I probably can't say what it is right now because it has not been announced yet. So when I'm testing the fisheye, I was just trying to create some fun photo. So I stick the camera with the fisheye lens into many different weird places. For example, I took this photo, I put the camera inside the fridge. I remember I took a very similar photo a couple of years ago, and I was struggling to light up scene because of the size of the camera flash. It just gave me a lot of limitations on how or where I can put the camera flash. With the Lume Q and Lume Q Air, because of how small they are, I actually just place both of the light inside the fridge, and one of them I just put the diffuser on to diffuse the light a little bit so that I can light up the camera gear I put inside the fridge quite evenly. And with the Lume Q, I just actually turn it around and then face it to the inside wall of the fridge. So with these two lights together, it helped me light up the camera gear in the fridge in the foreground, and also myself, pretty much exactly what I want. This is something I previously tried to achieve with the camera flash, but really struggled to do it. But with the Lume Q and Lume Q Air, that give me exactly the look I want. And then another silly photo I did is that I put the camera inside the washing machine, and as you can probably imagine, the washing machine, the inside of the washing machine is quite small. So after I put the camera in with the fisheye lens, there is actually not too much space left inside the washing machine. So I couldn't put any normal light source inside it to light up the inside of the washing machine. So in the end, I just use one Lume Q Air because it has the magnet there, so I can just use it and stick it onto the inside the drum of the washing machine, and then I put the diffuser on to diffuse the light a little bit, and then I created a photo like this. So these are just two very quick examples of how I use the Lume Q Air to light up the scene when I was taking photo. If you are a videographer, then the Lume Q and Lume Q Air is also very useful. For example, I can use a little bracket like this and mount it on the Lume Q, and now I can just put it onto the hot shoe of the camera, and that just gives me a very little portable light source for my camera if I want to shoot some video. So that is a very compact light source for my camera, and this is really good for a videographer who shoot a lot of run and gun style video, because the light with the bracket virtually adds no extra weight to your camera setup. And if you are shooting in a fixed location, of course, you can take the light off the hot shoe and then mount it with a light stand, or stick it onto somewhere else, for example, using the magnet at the back of the Lume Q Air. So if you got yourself a couple of these Lume Q lights, then you have a very small, very portable, easy to carry solution for you to light up your scene. Overall, both the Lume Q and Lume Q Air, they are very well designed, they're very well made, they're both very bright light source, and they are also very portable because they are so small and so light as well. And the smartphone app that designed for the Lume Q lights are also very nice, very polished. Apart from a few limitations that I mentioned before, I really enjoy using the smartphone app either just to control the light or use it to take photos. I guess the only downside with these two lights is that they are not really that cheap at all. Not saying that they are very expensive, because they are not, but there are some competitive products in the market, similar product, but the price is quite a bit cheaper. But I guess there are always cheaper product in the market. So if you want a very nice, portable and good quality light, then I guess the price of the Lume Q and Lume Q Air is quite justifiable. For myself, between these two lights, I think I like the Lume Q Air a bit more, because not only this one is a little bit smaller and lighter, I like the way how you can open up the door to access to the USB port, so you don't have to worry about losing the cover, or you have to bring some tool to open the door. I also like how it has the magnet at the back, so I can stick it onto a lot of metal surface, and that just make it easier for me to mount the light on the place I want. The Lume Q Air is not as bright as the Lume Q, and it also doesn't have as much adjustability in terms of the power, and also doesn't have the optical slave. But to me, those are less important because it is already pretty bright, and a lot of time I would just use it as a constant light source. But of course, this is just for me personal opinion. For you, you may have different preference. You may really want to like the optical slave feature on the Lume Q. So which of the light is the one that you like more? Do you like the Lume Q or the Lume Q Air? Leave a comment below, let me know which one you like more. And thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next video.